All right, it is three of us. This is Rara time. This is Bikram and this is Gav. And I can tell you the right score right now is 116 for one. That is India chasing 288 after South Africa got pulled out somehow, amazingly. Okay, let's start with this. Is this already the end of Asian century? Why I'm saying that's because India has already lost the Test series. They've already lost this fucking series 2-0, one day international. There are no T20s, if I'm not completely incorrect. All I'm asking is this the end of Asian century? Where is the intensity? Even Kohli looked subdued on the pitch. I almost mistook him for Rahul Dravid. That's how quiet he was. Let's talk very candidly about the future of Indian cricket after Kohli's retirement from all captaincies. And when I say all captaincy, I mean including at home as well, where Anushka is the boss. Because I was always the boss. She just tweeted, but okay. I don't know. Like, I don't want to stir controversies here. I just like stir fry stuff. Having Rohit Sharma as the all-format captain, I feel is identical to the United States present situation. Because Captain Joe Biden is all but dead. I think this guy is 80 years old, and the vice captain, Kamala Harris, who's Kamala Harris, is now holding the fort. Sharma will miss most of the irrelevant overseas tours. The guy's captain, but he's not even there. Like, who the hell starts becoming a captain and not being there? Like, KL Rahul is there, right? He's not even supposed to be captain. He's going to miss all the relevant overseas tours, which is all the Sena countries, because of off-field injuries, because I've never seen this guy get injured on the field ever. Now, KL will lead India overseas, and I don't see how we are winning against any of the Sena countries. If people not familiar with this term, this is South Africa, England, New Zealand, and Australia, with KL at the helm. Can you imagine some scenario? I'm just like, this is just me. Is it something reality? I'm like delusional because KL doesn't look like a captain to me. He looks worse than Joe Root. He looks worse than Tendulkar as a captain.
Yeah. I think last week we discussed, right, who will be the next captain, and I did say you can sense like he's captained, I think, Kings 11 for 3-4 seasons now, and you could see that he has no ability to command the team on the field. He does not have tactics or imagination or personally, like he is scoring like the bulk of the runs for his franchise and like becomes the top scorer and all, but his team, I don't know. I mean, captaincy is more man. I mean, there is your individual game, but there is man management and motivation and leadership and things like that. I just don't
Double out.
see. Yeah. Oh,
Continue. Too long.
this remind. Yeah. Sorry. I think this
Your
reminds me
gloom
of
is
the
spreading.
first.
Your gloom is spreading. Your gloom is spreading.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
on.
The point is, I don't think he is ready for captaincy. I don't know about the future. Like maybe 4 years down the line, he learned some things, but he's not a captain right now. I would hate if he becomes the captain in tests. I don't think he is ready for sure. As I said last week, right? The only option right now in the short term is make Rohit Sharma all format captain, and see if you find leadership potential, groom some guys, while he's there for a year, 2 years, whatever time frame he plays. Uh, that's my take on it.
I'm not concerned about the shorter format. I'm concerned about the longer format. That's where the problem lies. And also, I'm thinking Rohit Sharma is the best candidate. The deal is that guy is not even going to be ready or fit to play those matches in the first place. So, Bikram, please join the show. Swim in. Pool is open for you. Please wear your shorts.
Yeah, I think it just tells you, right? Just, I mean, people take granted, or used to take Kohli granted that okay, he's the captain, but the team is so good, that's why they're doing so well. Now the thing which comes out, it's the same team, same, and let's not even talk about ODIs because I think in ODIs we were not that great anyway in last 2 years, and we have not played that many ODIs also. But in test, yeah, I mean, it's a 5-day game, and there, that is where the captaincy actually comes out. There, where the captain has to show. And I've seen Kohli captain India live on the field, and I've seen. I think keep saying again and again. It was the famous Bangalore test where we were losing for the first 2 days, and then suddenly something happened and we won it. And I have seen, even when we were down, even when we were not doing well, I've seen him egging on the players, egging on the spectators to chant the player's name and all that. So all those things actually matter. It's not, and you can easily see in this one day only. Forget about T20. Remember when Kohli was the captain? There was a Kohli camp. What something happened? They used to show Kohli. Now it's like nowhere. No, captain is nowhere. Who is the captain? So it's definitely yeah. It's definitely it's this one day series has made sure that BCCI will have to think again about. I'm pretty sure that the captain for short term will be Rohit Sharma, but who will be the vice captain? I think that's what the question we asked last time. Who will be the vice captain? Because the vice
Kev,
captain will also have to captain the team most lot of times, at least in test matches. Because as we see in the whatever happens with Rohit Sharma, let's not talk
he
about it
won
again
one
again.
days. Yeah. This guy was
So
supposed to be captain. He's not even here.
yeah,
He was
so
supposed to play a
I
test series. He's not here.
and it just I actually tweeted during the last ODIs that in search of there's a meme format called in search of gold we lost a diamond. So the thing was we were searching for ICC tournaments. Now it feels like we will not even win bilaterals with this kind of and intensity. So yeah, it's looking very bad.
Well, it's looking definitely very bad. Let's move on a little bit, maybe. Now, I wanted to ask you that that Aussies now they won the World Cup, T20 World Cup. Nobody expected them to win, but they won. They won very flamboyantly as well in the end. They thrashed England in the Ashes. Now they're favorites to win the next T20 World Cup, which is at home in Australia. Is this the beginning of another era of Aussie dominance across all formats? Now that also we're seeing the whole drama that's happening in the Indian cricket team, and England haven't been that good. South Africa could be good, could not be good. Pakistan is always topsy turvy. New Zealand, no matter how good they are, they'll always lose the finals to Aussies. So I'm just thinking that because saw so many amazing bowlers, even the batting was looking good. Steven Smith did not make a lot of runs. David Warner, if he goes away, there's another guy waiting, the guy who keeps getting concussed, right? So what do you think? Have you thought about this thing? Because there's been some talk about it. That's been in the air. Can it happen?
Yeah, I think I was listening to some. I think I was listening to Harsha Bogle on some channel, and very said, and it got me thinking. He said, "This is probably the easiest time to dominate world cricket because there is no clear
Pant got out for
runaway."
zero.
I know there
I'm
were
sure
some
you're
people who
happy.
was. Yeah,
So if I do something like this, then
I'm
you know that please, I want some attention. And
every time I
just let
speak,
me.
a wicket falls, right? So I guess I should
You're,
just
you're
go out
that
of the
doom.
podcast.
Your gloom has come from the previous podcast, the football podcast. You started with a lot of gloom, and it's like you've taken it. Every time you're opening your mouth, somebody gets out, and this guy doesn't even make a single run. And everybody knows, like everybody's like all three of us, that how much you hate Pant. You just
This
don't
is the
rate him
same
at all.
script. This ODI reminds me as is following the same trajectory as the first or the second ODI, where we were 140 for two, and then like we lost 6 wickets for the 50 runs. It's
I am
same. I
I'm
think we'll be all out by 210 or 220.
I'm telling you, Virat Kohli is thinking right now, I better get a century here and I win them the match and I show the fucking shove it up their ass, man. All the BCCI that I'm the only real deal here. Everybody just sucks. Everybody just, part of the team. Yeah, sorry, please go on. I had to, like, this big incident happened.
Yeah. So sorry, I also lost my thought.
Yeah, so we were
Yeah.
talking about
About
Australia
Australia.
and how
Yeah, so
this
I think
can.
this probably is relatively speaking the easiest time to dominate world cricket because no one country is at its peak. India had the golden opportunity to rule cricketing wise the world for next 3 4 5 years, but we've shot ourselves in the foot with unnecessary controversy and all this Kohli and Saurav Ganguly drama. Now we are set back by 2 years. Australia looked great in the Ashes, but come on, like it was England's shitty lineup batting. I mean, they also kind of made them look better than they are. England are in turmoil right now, at least in the Test format. And against West Indies yesterday, they got bowled out for 100 in T20s. So England are really going through some shit right now. South Africa, you don't know how well they'll do outside South Africa. So it's Australia probably are the best positioned right now to grab the leadership position in the short term. But I still see chinks in their armor. They are not the Aussie team of the late 90s, early 2000s by any stretch. But yeah, they look the best positioned right now. India were, but last 2 months, we just really shot ourselves.
Yeah, all I'm saying is the defending champion, they win the
They are
World
the
Cup again,
favorites
and
for the
then
next T20 World Cup,
next
for
World
sure.
Cup
I
as
agree
well.
with that.
And if they dominate this year, and then they might as well go as the favorites for the World Cup, whenever the next
Yeah.
World Cup is next year, right?
They do.
So, I mean, at least in the limited term, we can see Australia dominate, right? What do you think, Vikram?
Yeah.
Have you thought
So
about it?
I'll talk about the test format, because I think we mostly talk about test. So I'm not really convinced that Australia will dominate, because I'll just throw a stat. Australia have not won a series outside of Australia since 2016. I'm talking about test.
That's what I'm saying. Going
Uh,
forward, going forward.
going forward. So I'm going to talk about that. I feel that what Lal said, that it's the easiest time to dominate, but I think I just feel, and I'm just watching cricket, like cricket other than India, and this is we saw this series where South Africa played really well. It's not that we were bowling shit or something. They actually played well. Obviously, we missed some chances and all that happened, but they played really well. I think Sri Lanka is also coming along well now. They have kind of settled. They are actually coming up well.
Did you
Pakistan
talk about Sri
is
Lanka becoming
no.
the greatest team?
I'm just telling you what.
Just because they
I'm
beat
just
Zimbabwe or something, like Zimbabwe got out for 70 or something like that.
no.
Okay.
And no, because Sri Lanka was very bad, and we'll see. They are coming to India. They are the next team touring India, and I think
They're
New
playing
Zealand
with
is
five
always.
spinners.
So that's
Five
what I
spinner
mean.
brigade.
If Australia has to dominate, because now Australia has to go out and play. All their home matches are done. Next 2 years they are on the road, so that will
Home
decide
matches.
whether
They don't
they'll
even
be.
play any cricket.
So they are going to Pakistan, and Pakistan has also improved a lot. You have seen in the last T20 tournament. In fact, if you see their team, they are very settled. They have the all rounders, which is very all rounders are so rare nowadays. So I just feel that this year or next year we will see more competitive teams, like what happened in last 2 3 years, where just three teams basically were performing really well, at least in their homes. I will say that it will be difficult for any team to go out and win outside, out of all these big nations, I mean big cricketing nations, so to say. So coming back to the question, will Australia dominate? I don't really think so. That's my answer.
All right. I actually think they'll go out. Actually, they will become the team which will go outside and actually beat other team. But let's see. We will find out because we'll still have the podcast. We'll still have all three of us alive, hopefully. All right. Let's talk about Virat Kohli. Where is the Virat Kohli of the old? I mean, he's clearly lost the edge, right? I'm not talking about right now, this now. As we just speak, Virat Kohli just made his 50. But that's not the Virat Kohli who makes 50s. Where is Virat Kohli? Where is he? Have you seen the Virat Kohli? Can he please stand up? Can he please stand up? What is your opinion on this thing? What has happened to him? I mean, we cannot keep talking that he's looking good when he plays. There's something, he's just lost the edge. It's always about the edge, right? This Lukaku thing is not like he's suddenly became a bad player. He just, once you lose 5%,
Every,
suddenly you're just off. Happened with Steven Smith, right?
every,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
something looks off. See, every if you follow any great cricketers or any batsman's career, everyone has this slump where they go through like some bad thing. I mean, from Tendulkar to Lara to Ponting, everyone went through downs in their phases where they couldn't score a run. But this phase of Kohli has gone on. I know he looks good, but he's flattering to deceive. Every time he gets set and gets out. This is typically opposite of Kohli, right? Once he got in, he made a century. Like that's how the player he was. For 5 years, he scored centuries for fun. And
Yeah, he became Joe
suddenly,
Root.
like, yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, something has gone wrong in the last couple of years. I don't know whether it's mentally. He gives 120% every time, whether he's playing a friendly match or a T20 or a test match. His intensity, you can't replicate his intensity. So maybe like 5 years, 7 years of international captaincy, all formats, IPL, and not winning any major titles as a captain despite this level of intensity probably just got too much for him to, probably started affecting his performances, that he is giving him his everything in terms of intensity, and still, you know, as a captain, he's not won anything at RCB or at India. I mean, I know we win bilateral series, but I think somehow that has gotten. I am now no one to comment on his personal life. I don't know how
I
getting
will.
married and getting a kid has affected him. I mean, I don't know whether it's fair for me to like speculate on that. I'm sure that has to do something, like, maybe his personality has changed. He's tapering down as a person. I'm not sure, but cricketing wise, I think this 7 years of this high level intensity of captaining the side probably just got to him, and now he just needs to focus and get back to his batsmanship.
Yeah, you're too classy. I will talk about the family, but let's give Vikram a chance first. All right, the boat is set. There's a lot of holes, but just please paddle on.
No, I think it's a combination of many things. Whatever Lal said, I think that's also there. And the other thing, I just feel I was just listening to this guy, David Warner, and Boria Majumdar asked him about Kohli's slump and all that. So he said that I mean, a lot of things have happened in last 2 years. There is COVID. He got a kid, and for a player like Kohli, who feeds off the energy of the spectators and the other players and all that, it just playing in the bubble. I'm not talking about the bubble. I'm just saying that playing on in empty stadiums, I think it just sometimes you would feel like, why I'm doing this, no one is watching. We know that everyone is watching on television, but you don't know, you can't get that feedback, right? And I've seen Kohli, like how he feeds off the crowd, how when people boo him, or when he goes to Australia and all that, so that kind of gets him going. So I think that's also played a lot of that's also played a part, because in IPL also they are playing in UAE, no one cares, and you come back again and play. I mean, by the time you just lose interest in it. So I just feel that this has also affected his mentally, or whatever you want to call it. But I think this has also certainly affected him, just playing in this bubble life, playing in front of empty stadium. Because I remember the last T20 series we had with England, and he was playing really well in T20 series. He was the man of the series, and this is just last year. Not I'm not talking about long back, and that
Yeah, I know you've
that
said this
series,
before.
yeah, and that series was played in front of full packed Ahmedabad, stadium. So I just feel that he needs that kind of energy and that kind of like crowd, 20,000, 30,000 people just shouting and cheering him or booing him, as happens in other countries, maybe England. So I think he just needs to play in that environment. And obviously there are other factors which is going on, right? All this BCCI stuff and or whatever has happened in his personal life. So yeah, it's a combination of
Or,
things.
all right, fair enough. So I'll talk about my 2 cents here, obviously. See, because I'm not classy and I'm going to be like, I'm going to lay it bare. First of all, your arguments, one way I felt that, I'm talking about Bikram, that, it's like going back in hindsight and just putting two and two together, which makes sense. But at the same time, it was logical as well. People can actually feel differently in empty stadiums, and this guy does feed off people. At the same time, if that is not true, that's fine. But let's just assume that is true. I think that's also a flaw, because you play, you figure out howsoever it is. Because I've never seen this guy complain about bubbles. He always shows up, never talks about COVID, gets on with it. And if that something is bothering him for 2 years, this is the world we live in. You figure it out because everybody else figured it out. So we cannot have an excuse that other people are performing better and then you are not performing better because you didn't have the crowds. So if you're a champion player, you perform. As simple as that. His family has impacted a lot, because when you are the great, like at that level, right? There's 5%, 3%, 2%, all these matter. Even if you lose, there's little edge. Is this little edge which makes you the best? Why Ronaldo does not feel like the greatest player on earth right now? Because he's missing the edge. Why Messi doesn't feel like the greatest player right now in PSG shirt? Because somehow it just doesn't feel at home, and it doesn't feel like that's the greatest player ever. Why Lewandowski feels like that thing? Because he's just right there. He's like, he goes in there, he owns the place. But suddenly, if he comes to Newcastle, because everybody comes to Newcastle. So if he comes to United or anywhere else, doesn't. Lukaku, why does he lose the edge? Because there he was loved. Okay, so Lukaku also has a flaws. Man, flaws doesn't mean that Virat Kohli is bad, because I have so many flaws. And I can totally relate to that. I'm just saying a champion player will just go out and just go berserk. Does not matter who's there or not. You just mentally channel yourself. And I think something fell in my face. It's my own hair. It's the combination of what you said. It's a combination of family situation and all the fucking BCCI drama and what Lal was referring to, such a long period of time, 7 years, saying a captain and really not winning. I think that eventually just takes its toll. And
Right.
right now, when he's not the captain, I think he's deliberately on the field trying to just lower his intensity, just not
Right.
to
Right.
catch so much
Step
attention, just
on
not to show
the.
everybody that I am the captain, still the captain. Even if he
Yeah.
sees something stupid is happening, KL is not able to, generate something from people. He's not coming out as a motherfucker. What are you doing? Because it will not look good for the cameras. Now cameras are everywhere. And what he did in the last test match, he got desperate. I really want him to write in his book or whatever, just come out and say that was fucking stupid and that was unbecoming, and that's something I would tell nobody to ever do, because that was disgraceful, mildly disgraceful. I don't want to misuse the word. Okay, that
and
was my yeah. Go on, sorry.
I'll give you a funny answer. Someone tweeted saying that don't worry, guys. Kohli is just accumulating masala for his biopic.
Oh, there is a lot of masala. I'm telling you, there's a lot of masala. But he's gonna be fighting with Novak's. Novak's has a lot more masala. Novak's got
Oh
kicked
my
out of the
God.
country when he was world number one. When he was defending champion, triple defending champion. When he was 9-time champion, this guy's motherfucker's gonna be crazy. All right, we're not gonna talk about Novak this time. But I did find out that France only 2 weeks ago had said that he's fine to come in without vaccination. But just 6 days ago, they changed their stance because the rules
Right.
changed. I think they changed because of Novak's. I don't
And
know what the fuck
Novak
is
bought
going
a
on.
company who is going to find a cure for
Yes, he
COVID.
told me. Yes, he told me. What's going to happen with there? But now I'm going to talk about something which is a very sensitive matter to you, Bikram. So I want you to go first on this thing, and not Lal, not no Rahul. Is it time to close the India chapter on Bhuvneshwar Kumar? I know, just the way Lal loves somebody more than his wife, you love this guy more than your wife and everything else, because Bhuvneshwar himself, on his own volition, had given up on Test cricket because he just said, "Oh, it's not good enough for me." In the shorter format, his record over the last year has been a lot of injuries and pretty ordinary. He's been too ordinary to be picked up as the premier bowler bowling next to Bumrah for India. Now, pace has gone, economy has gone for a toss, and wickets column looks as barren as my bank account. And you know what my bank account is, so I'm actually not even kidding. Okay, last two ODIs, what he did was a 10 over 64 runs and 0 wickets. And in the previous ODI, he was 8 overs and 67 runs for 0 wickets. This ODI, well, not playing. Is it game over for the love of your life, Bhuvi?
Yeah, it looks like certainly looks like that. And yeah, I'm the first
Thank you.
person to. I would be the
Just
first
accept
person to
his vows.
say this because I've seen him, and a lot of people don't actually think about it or don't notice it. But he was at one point of time he was our best bowler in swinging conditions or in overseas, and to from that he just really got relegated. Right, he was never getting picked for test matches due to injury issues or whatever issues he was having. And now after this long break he has come back and he just looks unfit. I think has gained some pounds. Maybe it's because of the injury, because they said that you would just gain some muscle or whatever. I don't know, but
I
it
think
does
he's
seems.
married and he's got kids or something. I don't know what's going on.
So
Suresh
yeah,
Raina
I
has been
think
hanging out well.
yeah, that can also happen. So no, I mean definitely think because he got a lot of chances. There are a lot of bowlers, especially bowlers, who don't get so many chances in the Indian team. And I think that this is it now. Unless he does something really good in IPL or whatever, even and the major issue right now is the domestic tournament is also not happening, the first class tournament. So for all these people who are not in form or who are not bowling batting well, there's nothing. They can't go back to some other tournament and play because no one there's no first class tournament happening. I mean there is all those T20 things, T20 series, what happens, Sayyid Mushtaq Ali and all that. But all the Ranji Trophy and Duleep Trophy has not taken place in 2 years. That is also a big concern.
All right. So, because we've followed him so closely, and nobody's followed him more closely than Bikram, even more than Bhuvneshwar's own wife, and because he has, so he knows there's something missing. Just the way we know about Rashford, Matic, Martial, that nobody else who does not follow United will not know that what the fuck we're talking about, why we're so critical about them, because we only know we've been hurt year after year, and Martial cannot be there for 7 years. So I don't know how much you followed Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but he's definitely lost the edge, and he cannot be the premier bowler. Simple question for India anymore when we already have a lot of choices. Do you think it's game over for him, for Team India? He's gotten a lot of chances. You're on mute.
Yeah, I think I agree with Vikram that at one point in time he probably was our best bowler alongside Bumrah, or before Bumrah also. I think for a year or two he was really great. Also, important notice is last year when England was in India, after the test matches for 5 T20Is and 3 ODIs or 5 ODIs, I forget, he was the best bowler in that ODI or limited overs series, like the whole phase. So I still think that he has value in India. If we play a lot of cricket in India, I think he is a useful guy to have in the squad, and he can make some impact. I don't think he's a player to take to South Africa or Australia or New Zealand. England, you can have him in the squad, like, because in England, anyone who bowls at 70 miles per hour and just swings it around can pick up wicket.
Steve-O.
Like, look at that. Yeah.
See,
So
we're gonna get you.
yeah.
See, we're gonna
So I
get
think
you.
in Indian conditions you can still rely on him to some extent, because I'm just going back a few months ago when England was in India. In fact, not few months now; it's exactly a year ago when England was in India. Uh, he was the best bowler in that T20I and One Day series. So I still think he has a role when we play in India.
All right, I have definitely an argument in this thing, but again, I don't want to make this podcast about love of somebody's life. Okay, let's talk about Venkatesh Iyer. This thing I had already talked about, like thought about in my mind, but I didn't talk about the podcast because who talks about Venkatesh Iyer? There's a lot of people to talk about. I mean, it's just Virat Kohli, but that's what we talk about all the time. Did we overestimate Venkatesh Iyer's ability as an all-rounder? The bloke has taken 1 wicket. This is stat attack. 1 wicket in 5 games, 2 ODIs and 3 T20s. He's made 60 runs altogether at not a very flattering strike rate also. And he was dropped now from the third match. I think we just overestimated because of some performances in the flat fucking turners, non-turners in the IPL in UAE. Bring him into the Indian squad, and suddenly we expect him to become the next Hardik Pandya or some shit like that. But yeah, I think dream too far, right?
I think there are two parts to it. One is I agree with your point that 7 matches in the IPL, like the second half of IPL, he played well and he got picked in the Indian national team, which, I mean, it's not fair on too many people. I mean, so I don't think that's the right sample size to pick someone. But anyways, what's done is done. That's one side of the argument. Second side is, out of the 5 matches that you said he's played and picked up 1 wicket, I think he's not bowled a single ball in 3 of those matches. So
Yes,
I
you're
don't know
right.
whether
But there's a reason, right? Why is he all rounder?
cap-
What's the point of having him? That's my point. You're right. Absolutely.
I agree with you. Whoever was captaining him in those 5 matches, why didn't those guys give him even one ball? Do they not believe that this guy is an all-rounder? Do they think that he's just like someone who's just given to them by selectors and say, like, please test him out, and they don't really rate him or believe him?
It's a Hardik Pandya disease because we have forgotten what an all-rounder is. Hardik Pandya said, I'm an all-rounder, but I will not bowl. I'm just all-rounder. I'm all-rounder. They're like, okay, bowl nahi karega, lekin all-rounder. Uska matlab samajh nahi aaya kya?
So I think either you play him like an all-rounder and give him at least 5 overs in every fucking match, no matter what the match situation
Hopefully,
is.
you're not talking about
Give him
T20.
five-
Because
No,
that
no,
will
not
be breaking the
T20.
law.
In 1 days, he would at least give him 5 overs, and in T20s, at least give him 2 overs every game if he plays. Otherwise,
Because
don't
otherwise,
play
there's
him.
no point, right? You just play a
Correct.
batsman. Because he's
Absolutely.
not a great
There is
fielder
no
or something. He can't even tuck his shot in.
100%, I agree. I would rather play Washington Sundar in place of him as an all-rounder if he's not going to bowl.
Yeah, I think he's just injured, I think, forever.
He
I
got
don't know what's
COVID, got
happening.
injured, then got COVID. Yeah, it's
COVID. I don't know what's with
not.
Sundar guy. I think he got too much money in his bank account. That's the problem people face. Yeah.
No, I think I
So,
agree with Lal
yeah.
on Iyer, because although we think that he got picked due to, I mean, he obviously got picked due to IPL, but he has played
Yeah, because he was an engineer
first.
before that. So definitely didn't get picked for that. Like I saw him at the engineering school. Let's pick this fucker.
And
I'm
apparently
sure
he
he was
has done.
probably at Nirma. That's how, like, by that logic, like Lal should be playing for India as an all-rounder, except not bowling, not fielding at all, just standing somewhere.
So yeah, I agree that he. I don't think he has got enough chances in batting and
I agree
bowling.
with
And
that. I agree with that.
yeah, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think we can rate him at all. Forget about overrating and underrating him, whatever. So he needs to be given more
You're
chances.
right. I'm just saying on instinct. My instinct is he's just not good enough. That's my instinct.
I
Whether you
I
do it,
don't.
whatever.
Yeah. No. I completely agree. I don't think he'll be. He will not even. I don't think. Again, making a prediction because I don't know much about him. I've just seen him in IPL and know some of the stats, but I don't think he will even reach the heights of Hardik Pandya. Like when Hardik Pandya was the all-rounder we had. He used to bowl, he used to bat, he used to, take 5 wickets in Lords. So I don't. Yeah, obviously that's not going to happen with him.
Yeah, why I was saying that when he was playing, right, the body language, when his body language in
Right.
IPL was a completely different body language. Like, I'm the boss. Here he was circumspect. And the moment I saw he was circumspect, because even if, you guys, like, for example, BK doesn't like Pant, but the fact is his body language does not change. He's still going to go for it. And sometime he's going to make 100 when everybody's going to get out for zero, right? Like it happened in the third test match. And he will not even get out. That will happen. I just saw his body language there was different body language, what he was playing for, I believe, KKR, right? It was completely different. There he was the boss. He was like, he felt like he was thinking. There was baggage. There was like playing for Team India. He didn't come out to play. It was not like he got out. He just, when he was trying, I was like, who are you? Like, what is the point of you? Like, what are you trying to do? And then nobody even gives you overs because they don't trust you. So I don't know why you're in the team.
And I
For a
think,
batsman. We can have
and
better
I
batsmen.
think,
We have like the Indian
yeah.
entire team is a batsman. Entire country is a batsman.
Right.
Sorry, go
And
on.
I think he's one of those guys who actually came at the wrong time when all this transition is happening. I think if he had come in a more settled Indian team, he would have got, he would have been used in a better way. I think that's one of the misfortunes also. Let's see what happens, pans out. But yeah, definitely I don't think he'll reach the heights of Hardik Pandya as the all rounder.
Okay, the SEOs gods are telling us you're spending way too much time on Venkatesh Iyer. This is not going to good for your podcast. So just move on. KL Rahul and Sachin Tendulkar. Just say their name. Okay, this was supposed to be the last question, but there's a new last question because of the cricket matches going on. KL Rahul or Tendulkar? Who is the worst captain? Just one word answer. Don't say we have less sample size for KL.
Ooh.
We have enough sample size.
As bad as Tendulkar was, Rahul just looks worse.
Tendulkar just tweeted, "I love you guys. I love you guys." In this voice.
Ayla.
That's the first time anybody has called Tendulkar a better captain than any captain whatsoever.
No,
Because you
yeah,
think that?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Rahul is the worst captain because Tendulkar, yeah, that time the team was shit. And here Rahul is inheriting a champion side. So if you're not able to win with that, plus in IPL he got everything. Now he's the new captain for the new franchisee. So yeah, it's definitely Rahul, worst
All right,
captain.
the final question is, it's not a question, it's more of a request to particularly to BK. It's like, finally, will you lift your bloody curse on Virat Kohli? He'll make a big century and India will win this match, and Virat Kohli will show everybody the middle finger that, listen, I was the real deal and I'm still the real deal, and you'll win only when I'll score. KL, as you guys already said.
I don't want to sound a sadistic bastard, but I just think he will
Smart,
fall
smart.
short
Oh
of.
my God, you started like this, you're ending like this.
Yeah, I think he will not score a century in this match at least. And let's see, fingers crossed. Hopefully he does
This
after
tour will
this.
be over. He needs to score and get this monkey off his back, man. This monkey has been sitting for way too long. This is third year running now. It was November 2019. Somebody said he scored his last century. I don't know, that too against Bangladesh.
Well, I hope I'm proven wrong, but I mean, I'm just telling you what I feel.
Bhuvan? Did we say Bhuvan? Oh, you mean Proven.
Proven.
Okay. He feels like Bhuvan. He wants to be today like the warrior. He wants to be the Bhuvan. He wants to score this century. I think more than century, he wants to win the match. But I think the moment he scores, I want to be there. Like, please watch. I don't know whatever you're doing today, but just stay on. If he gets out, it's fine. But I want to see his reaction. His wife is there with the kid. He's like very happy.
He'll do
like,
this.
Yeah, and he was doing this at 50. He was like, 100 तो बनने नहीं वाले, पहले ही कर लेता हूँ. Palki nonsense. I mean, what kind of shit you do, man? Like palki nonsense. So yeah, Bikram, you're the last word. You're the final word.
I think he'll make the century, but I don't think India will win. I just don't see someone accelerating with Pant gone.
He'll be happy about that. Trust me. If he makes a century, India doesn't win. He'll be like, you fuckers didn't do anything. What can I do? Because then everybody would have not performed, right? If he had made a century and India still doesn't win. Because he's not scoring at a very good pace or anything, but I mean, eventually he'll try. But I really hope he doesn't get out for 101, 102. I hate when batsmen get out like that, right? It's such a, it just feels so shit. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, sorry, I know we are like almost out of time, but just one last thing. Why is Pant batting at 4 and Surya Kumar as a finisher at 6? I thought Surya Kumar is like a top order batsman. Why not Pant at 6 and Surya Kumar at 4? Like, who is making these decisions? Is it like Rahul Dravid or is it KL?
I'll answer this. I'll answer this even before you finish the question. This is exactly how the India is working right now. There are some people who are like God's children. That's Pujara, Pant, Rahane and all.
Rahane.
So every time these people fuck up, which is pretty much 4 out of 5 times, nobody notices. One time they make runs and they're like, oh, he just made 100. He should be coming up. He should be coming up.
No,
because
I think
made some very good score, 80 or something in the last match or something. I don't know, something happened.
No,
right?
I think that's the new plan because they don't want to get bogged down in the middle overs. So that's why
Surya Kumar will bog them down.
So I don't know. I mean, Surya Kumar was not even part of the first 2 matches, so I don't know.
He shouldn't be the finisher, though, right? He shouldn't be the finisher.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thinking. I don't know whether it's correct.
Also, Iyer flopped, so they're like, let's put Surya Kumar. He's also an all-rounder. Everybody's an all-rounder. So, okay, I think what was the prediction? No century, India lost. What, like, just remind me, whatever you said, Lal. No century, yes, century win.
No century and
3-0,
loss. Yeah, 3-0.
3-0, okay. He's just the most negative person, Lal, you've become. I don't know what is happening. What is Toronto doing to you? Because Toronto is supposed to be positive, at least fake positive. Oh, fake positive. Right now people don't want to be positive.
Yeah,
I think you've taken positive too seriously. You just want to be so negative. And I think somebody's gotten out. I think Virat has gotten out.
See, my prediction has already come true.
Virat has gotten out. Before this podcast finished,
you gave me the last word. It's your fault. You gave me the last word.
I am going to remember this podcast. Like when we watch this, like after 2 years, we'll be like, motherfuckers, man. And that
next
also
time
that to a false shot, a very false shot. Like I think I just want to see it again. I mean, he was trying to hook it on the leg side. Oh my god, that was such a rookie mistake. Oh, that was bad, man. And Bobuma took a catch. Bobuma can't even take any catches. Like he's not even caught his own son.
India will be.
That's why the son.
India will lose by even though India will lose by a big margin, like 40-50 runs for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely on that.
I don't even know. Should I even ask you the question, Bikram? No, what's happened? Because
I was going to say
Kumar goes nuts. Yeah.
No, I was going to say that Virat will score century, and I did say that Virat will score century and India will lose. But I think India will definitely lose, and Virat obviously didn't score.
Has not made a century. Yeah. Oh well. Well, on that note, thank you for listening. I don't want to summarize this time because last time I summarized, people complained that I was not summarizing correctly. But let me just still say, both of you guys said KL Rahul is an amazing captain and he's going to take India to the glorious heights that Australia did not reach in the 1990s and early 2000s. That's what you guys said. That's what she said. That's what you said. All right. Thank you for listening. This is Bikram. This is Rahul. No, Rahul. Sorry, it's BK and me, Gav. And if you can like and subscribe, or you can drink milk, whatever you feel like. Take care. We love you all. Bye now.
Bye.